afternoon, morning, evening, or night. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, morning, evening, or night. Ladies and gentlemen,
good afternoon, morning, evening, or night.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, morning, evening, or night. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 285. It's a bit of an odd one today because we've got some really...
It's not odd, it's even.
It is an actual even episode. One of the really uncommon episodes where there's only two of us here.
And we apologise.
We apologise. Alex is currently in a state where he is unable to do the episode. He's quite literally in a opium hole. He is off his face on opiates. He just can't function, so he's not actually going to be here today.
Yeah.
This is completely...
This is genuinely...
Yeah, no, this is...
Truth.
He's had an operation on Tuesday. He's going to obviously talk about it when he's back, but at the moment he's in recovery. And because of like the severity of the operation, he's on some pretty crazy opium. So he's just not functioning. So... This might be a bit of an odd episode today because we just haven't had the prep time that Alex usually has. It might be a bit of a shorter one, but we will try and...
We're still putting it out there. We're still doing our best, you know?
Yeah,
and
like when we're faced with dire circumstances, we come through. We're like the blazing angel from above.
We're like a Valkyrie ascending into...
A Valkyrie.
Riding the Pegasus up towards Valhalla, you know?
Yeah, I'm the Pegasus and you're the Valhalla.
You're the horse I'm riding.
Yeah.
The winged... horse I'm riding. Before we go any further into this professional podcast, I just want to say a huge, enormous... James, what's another word that means big?
Dong,
thank you to the patrons over at patreon.com who make the audio versions of the show possible, and
they do help support the show, and this is something I've wanted to mention for a while. It has been quite a long time since we last did an extra video. Movie videos, car videos, whatever it is. It's been a long time since you've done them, and there is an actual reason for that, because you've changed career recently, so your schedule is a lot more conflicting with...
Yeah.
So the days we would be able to record are now like super busy. So we haven't really been able to do any extra videos as of late. Alex has been working on a big IHE video, so that explains if there's an absence and there's no extra videos going on to Patreon and whatnot. But there's going to be changes coming up in the future that will allow a lot more consistent extra videos, which is I'm excited about, but it's just I want to be open about that we are just very busy boys at the moment.
Yeah, and the thing with JAR to me is that what it's always been is like chill out time, really. It's like fun.
We don't want to push content just for the sake of pushing content, because then it's losing JAR.
Yeah,
in that.
Yeah, and I have been busy as hell.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. Like,
we've all been
lot of hours in the office, sort of thing.
We've all been on a grind, so finding the extra time outside of just personal stuff.
That's the thing, and we can specifically thank one individual for getting us into this sort of mindset, a grind set, if you will, and that is one.
Jamie, no, let's not
beep that when I say that name. We just need to bleep that.
We don't need to mention him anymore because, oh my god, No,
this bleeds into something I can actually talk about. I just deleted Twitter and Instagram, right?
Yes, you did.
I mean, I say just. I did this a few days ago.
You did this a few days ago, but didn't actually tell me that you did.
I didn't tell anyone.
So I was messaging you on these apps to try and organise stuff with you, but you wouldn't reply because you deleted them. So I was like, Jamie's just ignoring me then. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, well...
Because, this ties back into the long conversation we had a few episodes ago where we talked about phone
Yeah.
Like social media addiction.
Yeah. And the thing is, the main reason I deleted it was the stuff that the way these algorithms work, because they figure out one thing about you, and then
it's that character you have in the cloud or whatever that is.
Yeah. Well, it might not even be accurate, but if you engage with one thing, it's like a point towards that demographic.
Yeah.
That gloopy section of interests.
Yes.
So I started getting a lot of like, I feel like it's a common thing for everyone on Instagram is like exercise stuff.
Gym rat. Body dysmorphia content.
Yeah, basically. And I assume that has some stuff to do with like I've bought protein powder and stuff before and protein bars, like
yeah,
so it all gets put into the online profile that is me, but then it just gets more extreme, and then more extreme, and then more extreme, and then it's just like straight up sexist shit. Like it starts off at innocent, like, oh, if you want to grow a bigger forearm, do this exercise.
Yeah, that's.
And then after an hour scrolling, you're at like just hating on women or like hating immigrants or it's like
it's the pipeline from that masculinity gym, because it does go that way, and they push it the way the algorithm. I don't even know how to explain it, but it just wants to lead you there.
Well,
and
that's the
ultimately, it's
thing.
going to benefit them leading you there.
Because it always is showing you new stuff. Like, that's the idea. Like, we were talking about it before. It's trying to constantly entertain you.
Yeah.
The inevitability is that you're going to see more and more, like, extreme views. Because it's constantly showing you more and more. And what's the stuff that gets like the most interaction? It's going to be the shocking.
The controversial stuff, because it's engagement.
Yeah.
And engagement is money.
Yeah.
So no matter what you watch, it can be something simple as car stuff. At some point, it's going to have to bleed you down a controversial line, because that's engagement. Twitter and Instagram is all about engagement.
Yeah.
Making a tweet that is a bit of a hot take about how Elden Ring is New Vegas. It's just going to get engagement. And that's all social media cares about.
So yeah, I deleted them.
How have you felt since you deleted them?
It's weirdly similar to like quitting smoking.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's like the habit part. It's like I've sat down with lunch, get my phone out my pocket. My thumbs are doing this shit. I'm not even thinking about it. And they go to on my phone where Instagram and Twitter were. My thumbs just take me there. And then they're gone.
Because your body wants that dopamine.
Yeah.
It's just like
yeah,
that.
And it's like
release.
used to that habit. And so then my brain's like, oh, now what? Like, you gotta reprogram yourself to like do different shit.
But do you not think that if you're getting rid of the high dopamine stuff from Instagram, Twitter, YouTube Shorts, that type of content, is replacing it with just like a 15-minute video any different?
Yes. I believe so. Because when you're scrolling through TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, blah, 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 it's all this quick
fire content.
Yeah. Stuff that you don't have to focus on for more than 5 seconds. Whereas watching an hour and a half Elden Ring lore video, you're having to really focus and even rewatch certain sections of it and like actually engage,
Because the thing with like my phone use, I always think it's what I do when I'm bored. So when I've got a time where there's nothing, I'm going towards that. When it's those moments where I should just kind of be like mindful. If I've got like 2 minutes, why should I just spend those 2 minutes scrolling through garbage when I can just like breathe and just think?
Yeah.
So it's like, if I was trying to get away from that, I'd want to just remove phone stuff completely to then just be chill in that time instead of having to get some stimulations from...
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good point, because like, this is what I've been doing as well now that I don't have Twitter and Instagram. Like, I will just put my phone down and eat.
That's the most important. I think if you want to get away from Twitter, Instagram, that type of fast content, you just need to just kind of walk away from the phone in general. Because we phone addiction, we can talk about it, social media and TikTok and Instagram, but like the constant stuff phones give in general without that is still so unnatural.
Yeah.
And it's something that I know is a problem for me. Because it's like I don't spend time chilling or relaxing or just not doing anything. Always got to do something. And that's, I think, the worst thing for mental health, is not just taking time.
Yeah, well, it's like a medium thing, because I was saying a couple episodes ago about how like too much free time is detrimental.
Yeah.
But I think it's more filling that free time with stuff non-stop. When it comes to like trying to sleep and existing in your own head, like you need to be able to do that. You need to have a relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's more important than the fast content. We're just being funneled.
Yeah. But I don't know, we're all just ships at sea learning how to float. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, ships that float. Have you seen this bloody fucking Ubisoft game? There's been like
I've seen nothing about it.
It's been in like development since like Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah.
Because it's just a game based on the ship combat and whatnot for that game.
It's like a pirate thing, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's fucked. It's so fucked. Because Ubisoft seems to be like one of the worst. Because we know every game company is like awful. But Ubisoft seems to be just the worst. Because the games they're making are not even good. All the IPs they own are not good.
No one respects them anymore.
No.
The IPs.
And the IPs that people do respect, Ubisoft are just like, no, we'll just put your character in Fortnite. Splinter Cell. You know, they have no respect for Splinter Cell, and people actually like that. But this whole ship game looks shit. And it's going to flop.
Do you think so?
It's going to flop bad.
Yeah. It's weird. Because there was an era where Ubisoft, I felt like they were finding a new niche that was going in a direction I quite liked. When Rainbow Six was having its heyday, and it was like the best era.
Yeah.
And then that For Honor came out.
They released a new character for that game.
Really?
Yeah, like an Egyptian like warrior.
But it's like I played that game when it came out, and like really fun. Fun combat system, like fun multiplayer. The skill ceiling might have been a bit too high for me, but cool idea, like really niche specific thing.
Yeah, something that's new for the industry.
Yeah, a total fresh like idea for a combat system, awesome. And then I guess For Honor didn't do very well, so then they're like, fuck it, let's just make Destiny, but Assassin's Creed.
That's it, because Rainbow Six was a niche, a really, really specific niche in like first-person shooters. Having a 5x5.
Yeah, you have one life.
S&D type game mode that is character-based. It's like but not following the Counter-Strike trend of just being a deathmatch. It's just normal. It was a really specific niche, but they fucked it by trying to monetize that niche.
Yeah,
as much as possible. And there's so many different microtransactions in it that it just kind of fizzled out. And I don't even know how it is at the moment, actually.
Yeah,
because I think it's still surviving, just not.
Yeah, it's got a hardcore fan base, but I mean, because of stuff like that, and even when they do release a good game, they end up like fucking it. I don't give a shit about this pirate game.
No.
And that ship sailed a long time ago. Everyone wanted that, like, when Black Flag came out.
Yeah, the 360 early Xbox One generation.
So why did it take them like 10 years?
Because the internal development is Ubisoft is fucked.
Yeah.
Is there any games you're hyped about at the moment, bro? Because obviously we used to talk often about the games we're consuming, the movies we're consuming, music. We haven't really done that recently. And I feel that's a nice little catch up on what the things we're doing in our own.
Yeah. Well,
time.
in terms of things I'm looking forward to, like Elden Ring has kind of gooned video games.
No, I think that's the thing, because right now, Alex is only playing Elden Ring. He might be opiated out of his face, but he's just Elden Ringing the entire time.
Yeah, but it's arguably the best way to play Elden Ring.
Just absolutely smashed on opiates.
Just smashed on something, you know. But yeah, I've finished Elden Ring.
You finished it?
I've not talked about Elden Ring since finishing it.
Because we talked about it a fair bit, but having finished it and experienced the world and the conclusion of the story, I guess, what are your thoughts on it? Because I know that you said to me that you think it's not a Souls game that is replayable.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Because it's too big.
Yeah, it's not as replayable as Dark Souls 1, Sekiro, which a lot of people would disagree about because Sekiro doesn't have like the build variety and stuff. But Sekiro, when you know what you're doing, you bomb through that game and get it done in 5 hours. You know?
And that's satisfying in itself, isn't being able to speed one it and master the gameplay loop.
Yeah, and it's got such like a skill ladder. Whereas Elden Ring, it's like I feel like there's not if an attack is a question, in Sekiro there is an answer. Yeah. In Elden Ring and like Dark Souls and stuff, it's just like you give your answer and it might work or it might not. You know? So, but yeah, Elden Ring has problems much more towards the end. Kind of similar to Dark Souls 1 in that regard. Difficulty spike or just like design? Yeah, it feels like a difficulty spike due to the like design. The design gets weaker in the last area of the map you unlock. It like just isn't as good as the rest of the game. Story-wise, really cool. Yeah. It's kind of becoming my favorite. Well, from what I've played of it, because I have spent like I've put like 27 hours into it, because we played a fair bit. I never did any of it solo, but I played enough of the games, like, know it. And the world, hot take, I don't get the Souls gameplay. I would say it's clunky, but I know it's like by design to be weighted, to be like a skill thing, is by having it weighted. I just don't, I feel it, from my experience with that game and the builds I've done, it felt clunky and was like unsatisfying at times. But I understand that's how I was playing it and my build that made me feel a bit like these hits aren't hitting. Why? And I could probably spend more time and get better at the system, but I can never get hooked to the gameplay. But at the same time, I did get hooked to the leveling and the world and the enemies and the design of the whole game. Cool, loved it. That's my take on Elden Ring, but I know it's like a... Yeah, it's a weird thing, because when you're in it, it's like the best Souls game. Yeah. When you're in that first playthrough. Afterwards, I mean, the game ends on a very low note. The final boss is trash. Like, the worst FromSoft final boss I've ever played. What makes a good FromSoft final boss? Because I've seen the fight, where it's like the first phase where he's like the first phase is cool. Yeah. And the second phase that ruins it. But like a good... Have you seen the Dark Souls 3 one? No. It's just like a duel. Like, if it had ended where you fight the guy that you do, and then he has a second phase and you fight him again, that would be cool. Yeah. But the thing you fight is just like frustrating, and it's like attacks that layer on top of each other, and it feels like, again, it's doing these attacks that you just can't respond to. Yeah, you have to just dodge and then attack the weakness, which isn't learning. You're just like, you can't reliably count on it, on like dodging a certain attack and it working. Yeah. Sometimes you will just get fucked and die, like, immediately. And the damage numbers towards the end of the game gets really silly as well. Because like my vigor was 60.
Pretty
which-
high.
Really high. That's like the soft cap. And I was still being killed by shit in like 2 hits.
Yeah, that just sounds unsatisfying. And quite frustrating.
Because that takes away from build variety to me.
Yeah.
Because that means that every build needs to have that much vigor. You know?
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
Would you say, because obviously I've seen that boss, the I forget her name, but the Let Me Solo 1v Hunt won her.
Yeah.
Would you say she would be a better final boss than the final boss of the game? Because I've seen, having watched gameplay of that boss fight, it's like you have to learn her, and there's ways to beat her by learning, but it's like a challenge still. So would she be a better final boss for that game instead of having a bullshit high damage, silly attacks boss?
She feels fairer. So in a way, yes, but also she's like silly hard. You know? And I because of my build, like I discovered that I basically chose the worst build in the game.
Yeah.
Being like a big heavy sword, shield, and incantations. The heavy sword being the bad bit. Because it's like these are bosses, the speed of Sekiro bosses. Like doing these flurry nuts attacks.
Because my build when we played, I was doing a two-handed sword.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think I was starting to get frustrated because there were so many times when I couldn't actually do anything because they're so fast. And there's so much weight to the sort that being that type of build, but you can't do things quickly. Like dragons.
Yeah.
How can you quickly have fun fighting a dragon where you're spending so much time just running to get to a position and they just dodge and you don't hit?
Yeah,
I thought that was quite frustrating.
It is frustrating because, like, I don't think great swords have functioned how they really should since Dark Souls 1. I always use them because I think they're really cool.
Yeah. Everyone just wants to be Guts.
Yeah,
Everyone just wants to be
badass
Berserk.
thing, running around with a big ass sword,
Smack
like crushing
things.
shit. But the thing is, you can get like the fast weapons, which are twice the speed. Like you can roll way faster. All this, and the difference in damage is marginal.
Yeah, I mean, think of DPS. DPS is what kills bosses. Doing one hit with that spinning move with the heavy sword, it does a large amount of damage. You might hit it once.
Yeah. There are some mechanics to try and even it out, but it just doesn't work. Like faster, hard hitting weapons are just going to be better.
And I think that's a shame because it's like you want to build what you want to do, but if that build is making the game so much more difficult, it's a you have to learn the game before you even start playing it to have fun, and I think that's really off-putting.
Yeah, they're definitely off-putting games, all of them. But yeah, I'm definitely not as negative about Elden Ring as a bunch of people are.
You're saying that apparently it's like there's the pendulum's kind of swung, and the Elden Ring was considered really good at launch, and then as time went on, people started to realise that it's like not as good as Dark Souls 3 or 1.
The amount of video essays and stuff I've seen that are like basically after Joseph Anderson uploaded his Elden Ring video, I started seeing loads of other ones. And people starting to be really negative on it. And I really don't see it, you know?
Yeah.
You objectively, in my opinion, if you stand back and look at the game, it's like, how the fuck did they even make this?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's so obscenely huge.
It's huge, but detailed to like a disgusting degree because I've been watching like countless lore videos and stuff and like researching it myself on the wiki and like reading descriptions. The lore is so cool and it's all backed up by like the world.
Yeah.
And where you find shit in the world and how that links into the story. It's nuts. It's unbelievable what they've accomplished.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy in the fact that my PC was able to just run at a decent frame rate, and I've got an older PC.
Yeah.
It's massively impressive for a game that usually are considered quite buggy.
Well, the thing, like, I saw this cringy video the other day that was like comparing these 3 games to Elden Ring, and it was like Horizon Forbidden West, Red Dead 2, and I think it was Assassin's Creed
Odyssey.
I think Valhalla.
Valhalla is
the one based in England.
England, Norway.
No,
The one in England.
It's the Vikings coming to England, right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
think so.
Viking,
But
the
anyway,
Viking
yeah.
one, yeah.
And it was like, wow, look at this shit. Look at England. Look at
Beautiful graphics.
these, yeah. And then they showed like a puddle in Elden Ring, like. But Elden Ring looks like a fever dream,
Yeah.
like in a good way, you know. It's like,
No, it's in a bad way.
you think it's ugly.
No, it's in like if it. No, I don't mean it's ugly. It's a beautiful game, but it's like Elden Ring reminds me of when I had that horrible flu back last year that fucking destroyed me for a week. It's kind of like that because it's miserable. It's fucking horrible, and that's like the appeal of Dark Souls is that it's fucking shit. That's the whole thing. That's why people like it. 'Cause it's like you hate it, but you love it.
Yeah.
And it just feels like you're in a horrible dream, but you kind of like it. It's a bit wrong to like it. That's
Elden
what I
Ring,
get
out
from
of
Elden
all
Ring.
of the FromSoft games, is the nicest.
Yeah.
It's like if I had to live in any of these worlds, it would be Elden Ring. So I could probably just find like, I don't know, a little hill somewhere.
Little hut and just like,
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
Whereas Dark Souls, it's like, no, you're just going to be fucking eaten by dogs.
No, I think the game is very beautiful, and I wish that I had a PC that could actually run it on anything above low.
Yeah. But all in all, it is a masterpiece. In my tier list,
Your tier list.
probably be beneath Dark Souls 1 and Sekiro. So it's got like number 3, third spot.
That's not bad. It's surprising that Sekiro is like that high up.
Yeah, it shocked me.
Because I saw when Sekiro first came out, it was such a deviation from the Dark Souls formula. Yeah. That I was like, no, this doesn't seem like it could catch on. So it's nice to see that it is actually like prized and valued among the Souls community.
I don't think it tends to be as much. Bloodborne is normally number 1.
Yeah, that's the thing. You are not Bloodborne.
It's good, I think, but I don't know how you can put number 1 a game that can't be played at 60.
Yeah, it seems to be the one thing that's like stopping that game from actually being
Good. No, it is a good game.
No, it'd be interesting because obviously Alex is in the Dark Souls goon hole. Once he's gone back and played 1 free, let's see how he views it. Because when he finishes Elden Ring, so he'll have to come back to this topic once he's not fucked out of his face on opium.
Yeah, we will do.
And we'll see what he says.
And with that said, we'll see you after D's.
Bye, Bear Bear. Bye, Bear Bear.
I do declare, bye, Bear Bear.
Bear Bear shirts and mug available now. Check the description below.
Welcome back to the second half of the show where we head over to Reddit and answer a few questions. But before that, because we were just speaking about the Elden Ring goon lore hole, I've also been in a bit of goon hole, and that's the Warhammer 40k goon hole.
Oh dear.
Yes, but this mainly ties in because there's the upcoming Shark Tank Warhammer Darktide that is basically a survival horde game, just like Vermintide, just set in a 40k world. Got delayed to November.
Oh,
and
really?
Also, I think it's a Microsoft Store exclusive now. Yeah, so it's on the Microsoft Windows.
Wait, so it's not going to be on Steam?
Possibly. I need to confirm that, but it's just because I've been in the goon hole and that I find that world to be one of the most fascinating, because obviously, like, Elden Ring, world was created over a span of a few years for the game. But, you know, Warhammer's been going on for like 30 years. and the lore is constantly being added to.
Mm.
It's just like this constant machine that if you want to get in, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I find that whole world.
Would it be possible for you to go back to the beginning
No,
and catch up?
not really.
There's
So it's all like it's tabletop is what was started like Warhammer.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, so you've got all the adaptions and the novels, and then the codexes, which changes the book. It's crazy. But then they also fix old lore, because apparently there was some guy who worked there who had a favourable faction, so he'd make them OP in the lore. He would like
right.
fuck up the lore, and then everyone hated it. So then they new people had to fix that person's like bias. But really fascinating. It's like a really cool world, and mainly because it kind of ties into the Warhammer Fantasy world, and that's getting a big update soon on Warhammer 3. So I'm really hyped about that. But I've been in a Warhammer Goonhole, and it's been amazing.
Mm.
And I'm actually thinking about buying some of the tabletop stuff. The
Like to
figures.
colour them.
Possibly. Though I've obviously with my shaky hands, it would just be like.
Yeah, you need to be like mega ripped. And
Yeah,
doing that.
no, Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
What was he doing in lockdown? Painting Warhammer.
Yeah, and building a
sets, like
PC.
Yeah, like because some of the designs of them is just cool. It's just like cool mechs, cool tanks and stuff. I like that, and I do have my favourite faction, so I might indulge a bit and buy some Warhammer stuff.
Do you think I would be into it?
No,
Why?
it's hard to say because I think you're more of like a fantasy kind of.
But there
Like
is
Elden
like
Ring.
the fantasy.
There
aspect.
is. That's like there's there's a one with fantasy and there's 40k, and the 40k is the Space Marine, super advanced.
Yeah. Are they the same universe?
No, they're different
Okay.
universes that at some point were like kind of teetered to be joined, but they share a few things. It's like it's one thing you want to look into if you fancy playing Darktide, because then you understand a bit of the basics and it might make the game more understandable. But there's specific lore videos coming out in relation to that game to set up that game. So, but I'm hyped for that game because I think Vermintide
Vermintide's really fun.
it's a fun game. Had its issues, especially with like progression and character builds. I think
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
whole weapon system being basically loot boxes,
Yeah, that was
it kind of killed some of that. But with Darktide, it's like you create your character because it's like the city, the big hive city is getting fucked up by like a virus.
Mm.
And they need prisoners, off-world prisoners, to come sort out because they've got nobody else. So you create your own character and you create your build from that. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of
very
hyped for that game.
intrigued.
So with it being delayed, it's a bit disappointing. But with Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires coming out, at least I can get my fix until Darktide comes out.
Would I like Warhammer, the RTS?
Possibly not. Well, it depends. I know that you've obviously played Civ, but with the RTS Warhammer, it's huge. Because now what Immortal Empires is, it's joining the maps and the campaigns of 3 games.
Mm.
So every faction, every leader, every army is now joined into this huge map where everyone's fighting. So imagine the biggest Civ game, and times that by like 5, 10. Huge.
And it's all warring.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's all like putting your formations of units and then doing charges and then doing tactical stuff on that instead of just unit auto kills numbers. It's you've actually got to work out and build chariot armies or archers and do that stuff. It can be quite simple, especially if you're playing on like a easy difficulty. You can just go like heavy archers and then just fight and fortify that.
Well, it took you quite a long time to like.
I'm still learning. That's the thing. It is like that kind of game. But when you've got like stacks of like the best units and you can just destroy, it's really fun when it's like that. Having like huge dragons and whatnot. But the main thing about Warhammer Fantasy is the unit diversity is insane. Like armies of just like old Egyptian, so they're all skeletons and stuff. And then you've got pirates and vampire pirates, and you've got ogres, orcs, dwarfs, elves. Generally just really cool variety.
Yeah.
I think that's such a nice appeal because obviously each army's so different, you have to have different tactics and different units to otherwise if you don't learn them they'll fuck you up. It's a really good variety, and it's just like if you want a game where you will sink like 300 hours into one save, it's like Civ, it's that kind of game. But yeah, I've talked about it briefly before, but I just want to mention that I'm looking to the tabletop because
Yeah, I think you should do it. That'd be cool.
yeah, I like the thing of having like memorabilia like on the shelves. It's like Lego, Alex and Lego. It's like a nice thing to have. So I'm thinking about it. I just need more stuff to throw money at. Cars are clearly not enough, bro.
Yeah. How much were the last wheels you bought?
Too much. I bought 2 wheels and they were close to $1,000. That's 2. I need fucking 4 of them, bro. This year alone, I've spent probably close to 4 to 5k on wheels alone. That is more expensive than the car the wheels are going on.
Yeah, it's more expensive than my car.
Yeah, and this is wheels, and I haven't got matching sets that fit, so I'm literally running gold on the front, black on the rear. So the wheels don't even match. It's just like, honestly, it's a meme in the car community of just like, it's a meme of like, oh, if you're worried about your kid getting into drugs, just make them a car guy because they just won't have money. I generally can't buy drugs. I am so like money inducive of cars. Never do it.
Drugs.
Yeah, they are actually drugs. It's just dopamine non-stop.
No.
But yeah, if you care about money and having money, don't get into cars. You just don't have any time ever. Smoking's probably cheap on a monthly basis.
Don't tell people to smoke.
No, I'm not telling them to smoke, but actually, no, smoking is more expensive. Stop smoking and buy Nissans.
Yeah.
Life advice. Buy cars.
No, that's actually good life advice.
Yeah. I did it for you. Jamie, stop smoking, buy a Celica. Boom, you did it. But yeah, that aside, just gonna quickly head over to the
Jar Media Reddit, so we can
the suggestions thread where you can leave your comment that could get answered by someone. If you leave a really good comment, Alex won't answer it because it's too good. He only likes replying to ones that he can have fun with. And we're not like that. We like being.
We like not having fun.
Yeah, we like being miserable. Hence why we like Elden Ring.
And New Vegas.
Bro, I could talk about New Vegas all day. Just the other week, actually, now we're going on to this subject. Just the other week, I was thinking back to the DLC of New Vegas. Because obviously you started the main game. But the best of New Vegas is not the main game. It's the DLCs being Dead Money and Old World Blues. Because one's super story focused. Dead Money, atmosphere, just a lovely slice of just story world. And then Old World Blues is just like fun. They're so... Dead Money might be one of my favourite media ever. And I think this is entirely because of how I experienced it. Because my first playthrough of New Vegas was the Ultimate Edition with all the DLC.
Right, yeah.
So I was just like, let's do the DLC. Dead Money is actually quite a hard DLC because you lose all your gear and you just got to kind of start in this area where the enemies are quite difficult. And I was on a pretty hard difficulty, level 6. So severely under level for the... Yeah, and I just did the DLC. And got fucked.
Yeah.
And I was doing this at like 2 a.m, so it was like... spooky.
Yeah.
Really difficult.
There's something magical when you are younger playing video games and doing shit a bit wrong.
Yeah. 100%.
But just doing it your way.
Yeah. It makes more unique memories. Because it's like... Other people would have done it the right way. But my fucked up way of doing it made it better for me.
Yeah, and it makes it a story in itself.
Yeah.
You know?
Playing Dead Money while under level scared the shit out of me. Because it was like, I'm going to run through this abandoned ghost village, but I can't get seen because I'll get insta-killed.
Yeah.
While I was like a kid, generally scared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead Money. Play Dead Money on the hardest difficulty, severely under level, and it's a great time.
But don't get New Vegas because it sucks.
Yeah, don't play New Vegas because... Saying you like New Vegas is a red flag.
Really? Explain.
I like New Vegas, bro. That's all we need. That's all we need to say. No, because it's like the meme of when you start talking to someone about New Vegas, they just won't fucking stop talking about New Vegas. And any opportunity is like New Vegas.
Yeah. Well, I feel like saying you like Dark Souls is a red flag, though.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's what I was saying. Elden Ring is just dark New Vegas.
Yeah.
If you mention either of them to a fan, it's just like, oh.
Yeah, you just start going.
Yeah, you don't stop. You can't catch yourself.
Yeah.
So, okay, in this way, what is... If Fallout 4 is like the worst Fallout, what is the Fallout 4 in the Souls?
Dark Souls 2.
It is Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2 is trash.
I don't get it, though.
I've said it so... Like... It's bad.
But the thing is... People don't say it's good. Because people clearly say Fallout 4 is good. Fallout 4 is so... If Fallout 4 is worse than Fallout 3. Fallout 4 is one of the worst RPGs ever. No, bro, come on.
It's not worse than Fallout 3.
No, the thing is the gameplay in Fallout 4 is no different to Fallout 3. But it's actually worse because VATS doesn't work. VATS is useless and the gunplay is the same. So
the gunplay is better.
It's not.
It
genuinely isn't. It just looks nicer, so you think it's better.
No, it like makes more sense.
It's like Assassin's Creed, like Black Flag to Unity. Unity's shit, but it looks a bit better. But it's not better. It just looks better. So it's shit.
But Unity does have better combat than Black Flag.
It does. I'm not even gonna lie.
Black Flags is terrible, but the boat shit is awesome.
I was actually really disappointed with Black Flag when it came out because you could only have the 2 default weapons. You couldn't change your arsenal, and I found that like a backward step for Assassin's Creed.
That's right, isn't it? You had to like use dual swords.
Tomahawks, is it? No, it's the dual swords. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the swords.
Yeah, I thought that was a step backwards.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of going for something pretty good up until that point.
They always had like a bit of variety and shit, and it was cool. But
okay, back to Fallout 4.
Yeah, the best Fallout game.
It's not the best Fallout game. It's the shittest Fallout game because the bolt's on the wrong fucking side.
Yeah, that's
I've
true.
said this so much. So much. You can't play a first-person shooter when the bolt's on the fucking left. Bro, this must be like a autism thing because I don't know why, but it's like it fills me with such fucking rage. I can't play that game because it's like the best weapon in Fallout is always that gun. Like consistently the best.
bolt action rifle.
You get it early on and it is just old reliable.
Mm-hmm.
When you're getting it early on and it's the wrong fucking... I can't. It fucking annoys me so much.
But like it doesn't make sense. First,
it doesn't make sense.
But then they also have to animate it, and it's like you're just highlighting why it's on the wrong side. Because
it's clunky. It's like
the animation looks fucked.
Yeah. And it's like when you're aiming at guys in the distance on the roof, whatever, the raiders, and it's like you shoot one and it's just like, it's like your hand's going into your screen and it shouldn't. It should just be like a quick.
Well, yeah. And like, why would you have it so you're pulling towards your face, and then the shell is coming out in front of you? Like,
what was the actual design choice? You're making a first-person shooter. Surely someone in the design team knows something about guns. We're talking about America. One of them must have a little bit of experience and can just say, "Why are you doing this? This is stupid." So why did it end up in the final product? Why did it ship like that?
Black Ops 3 or 4 had a gun like this as well.
Was it like one of those big Kraber, like heavy cals?
And it was just like a straight pull.
But again, it kind of would work in COD because it's a fast-paced game, so it's not gonna.
Yeah,
it's dumb, but I guess it's probably better suited to COD than it is Fallout.
But it's just like a weird thing. You never used to see it.
No.
Why are they doing this now? It's like, are they so devoid of? Because Fallout is obviously based in a universe that's like different to ours. They're stuck in like the 1950s.
No, but the hunting rifle in New Vegas and Fallout 3 was white. So why would it suddenly just not be Fallout 4?
Yeah, I'm not justifying it, but I'm saying like just because the universe is different, why would this thing change?
Yeah, it wouldn't.
When they've established in the previous games that it is the same as ours.
I generally think it was like a trailer thing. It's like, oh, we've just shot this in the trailer. Look at all this animation. Because Fallout's never had super good animations. They were quite sloppy.
They were pretty bad, to be honest.
But they worked.
I mean...
But they're obviously trying to show Fallout 4 as this massively improved, smooth Fallout experience. So they needed this silly little animation that was on screen in their trailer, but it just made the game worse.
It is the Fallout 4 problem.
If that game didn't have that, I think I would have probably finished it. I've tried that game 8-9 times. I get to the point of having that main weapon and trying to explore deep, and it's just like, no. It's like a poison bar in Dark Souls. It's like every time I shoot it, it slowly increases into, it's like, that's it, rage quit, deleted. And then like 2 weeks later, I'd go back and do the same thing.
Last time I played Fallout 4, I was playing it on my current PC.
Yep.
And I reached the city.
Oh yeah, the main, yeah.
And you know the super mutants that just run at you with a nuke?
Yeah.
And blow up.
Oh,
I
yeah,
get to the
PC,
city.
didn't it?
One of them started running towards me. Suddenly, tanks to like 2 FPS. Legit, it's like a slideshow. But then once it did that, like all the resolution would go totally fucked. Like obviously I could barely play because it was 1 FPS. And then getting off the game was a challenge because like you pause it and it stays like it. But ever since I reached that point in that save, like I had to load saves before getting to the city. And then it'll be fine. But if I was at the city, 1 FPS, and then you'd go into the city and leave, 1 FPS for the rest of the game.
No, that's it's just really poorly optimized on your like specific combination of like hardware.
Yeah, it's just a crap game.
Which is a shame because I've heard Fallout 4 actually had good DLCs, and I
played one of them and it was pretty shit.
Far Harbor.
Yeah.
I think it was the Nuka-Cola World one that was like, oh, they've actually added a bunch of stuff that's actually good, like options that were actually character driven.
Yeah, I think I played that one a bit.
I've heard that that's like the one that kind of improved a few things, but then it's like too late. I'd already given up on that game by then.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could say the same about New Vegas, and if you do, I'd tell you you're wrong.
Should we do like 3 questions then?
Okay, no, there is actually one that is for you, specifically for you. Give me a sec, let me find it. Does Jamie have tattoos on both of his wrists? They're like 3 little wings in a row by Sephan.
Yes.
You've actually got your first tattoo. You popped your tattoo
Cherry.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. They're from Star Wars.
Yeah, isn't it Leia has
No, it's Chewbacca. It's an Easter egg that most people don't know, but under Chewbacca's fur,
yeah,
if he were to be shaven, he'd have these little chains to represent his time when he was captured and forced to mine in Kashyyyk.
Damn, I didn't know that lore. George Lucas must have written that in like
Yeah, he wrote it in like 1998.
Yeah. When he was thinking of the prequels, he was like, yeah, I think Chewbacca needs
give Chewbacca some extra fucking flesh.
He needs to be lit. Chewbacca wasn't lit enough, so he needs to add some
additional litness.
So yeah, that's Jamie's tattoos, Star Wars reference, quite cool. Oh no, this is one from NetNewt. Hey Mingers, I've recently discovered a love for watching Twitch recently and was wondering why we haven't seen many live gooning sessions from you guys. Understood if it is too much overhead, as I can imagine a schedule like that would be more intense. Thanks for the laughs and game on. This is something we've actually discussed before.
Yeah. We discuss it like every time we play video games.
We do,
basically.
because we game together and we have had a setup before where we've basically gamed in the same room. It's like the perfect Twitch setup. And every time, it's something I'd love to do, but when you try to be funny knowing you've got an audience watching, it can kind of take away the charm and the actual just natural chemistry you can have. It's like you're trying to be funny. You're trying to create little laughs and conversations. And you're not going to get those conversations because you're trying to. Like last night when we were playing Apex, we played Apex till like 1 a.m, just drinking, having fun. Really good, great, just funny, exciting,
just a fun
good game moments.
Yeah.
But that would not happen if we were twitching.
Yeah, and I don't watch enough Twitch to know like what people even I mean, when I say I don't watch enough Twitch, I don't watch Twitch.
Yeah, I would
really
say
understand it.
I watch Twitch, but I wouldn't say I watch Twitch because it's not Twitch content. I watch Alexei Noriaro, who's just doing he's walking around a car show in Japan. That's not Twitch content. That's super niche. That's not sitting on your computer watching the next episode of Simpsons with 15 million people watching you. I don't understand Twitch meta.
Yeah, I don't.
I think Twitch can be a little bit silly, and I don't think it's.
I'd be happy to do it every now and again, sort of thing.
But my worry is that, especially if you're drinking, because I think a lot with a lot of gaming, especially twitching, people drink. Alcohol's super common in that sphere. I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Well, yeah,
I would just be worried that I might slip out and say something that's a bit oopsie.
Yeah,
because I'm just trying to be.
Because now more that it's that thing where you're thinking so much about, because ordinarily you're playing a video game, you're not thinking about what you're saying. So
you're just
whatever.
You're just doing.
Whereas you're on Twitch, you're thinking about everything you say before you say it, right?
Yeah.
And because you're doing that, you're putting in your head the things not to say. So then when you drink, Freudian slip,
boom,
your brain is saying, don't say this, this, and this. And it's oh, I just said this, this, and this out loud.
Yeah, and there's obviously
because
really obvious situations.
I'm thinking about not saying it.
Obviously, the infamous PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not worth the risk.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was a case like that where his brain was don't say this word, don't you're streaming to 1 million people.
Don't say it. Instant reaction. Say it. Obviously, I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying that word ever. Don't use it, even in gaming. But it's when you're streaming with probably alcohol, I don't want to take that risk.
James says it's just the worst shit off camera.
No, I don't.
Actually,
I'm the most most gentle person ever. I never say anything
in a problematic way.
No, I'm not problematic. Honestly, the problematic people are people who hate everything.
Yeah, he really just went and said it.
No, but honestly, bro, he's the only one who's actually been cancelled. He said that everyone should be a feminist and got cancelled.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was the cringiest shit. Oh my god.
I can't believe he said that. Can you imagine?
Yeah, imagine wanting to be a feminist.
Can you imagine wanting to be an SJW?
Yeah, social justice wankers. Alex, please cut this out in editing. So, we've got a question here from Blindscape. Question for Beast and James. Are either of you members of or in an industry that gives you... okay, that's the wrong question. It was just saying about unions, because at the moment... at the moment in the UK, there's a lot of stuff about unions.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people are striking because with the cost of living crisis, a lot of people are now struggling because there's a lot of industries where they're just underpaying. So striking, railway, a few other things, and I'm obviously completely in support of that. Pay people a fucking living wage. No, there's no, you can't say anything about that. Just fucking do it. Actually, no, pay them better than a living wage.
Yeah, pay them double living wage. Pay them 3.
Just take away from the Tory party and pay the people who actually run the fucking country.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, me and Jamie. Fund all of the Tory money to me and Jamie.
Yeah, I want a 200k apartment renovation.
Bro, is that all you're going to do with your Tory money, bro? Come on, aim bigger. They're paying for us, bro. We can have more.
And maybe a couple trips on my private jet.
Yes. Now we're thinking. Now we're getting into the juicy part.
To Tesco.
No, I'm going to get some kangaroo meat flown exclusively over from Australia.
Wow.
In a Vulcan bomber. So it needs 15 refueling stops on the way. But it's going to cost millions. No, just honestly, just send me live kangaroos. This is a quick one for me, which is, will James turn his prized lol into an Atashika? And that's by The Only Dick Pisser. Yes.
Oh.
I want... So, we've talked briefly about Atasha before, and obviously Atasha is the art of basically wrapping your car in an anime girl.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't do an anime girl, that's the thing. I'd do something different, but having a big character of some kind...
Homer Simpson.
They are, like, genuine... Homer Simpson is a genuine choice for people. But no, I'm thinking about it. You want kind of many builds of cars, and you want many cars of different things, and I don't think my current car is the Atasha car. But it probably could be.
What character would you do?
Oh, that's a secret. No,
Walter White.
That'd be the Sucky Dry fan car.
Yeah.
Just a Sucky Dry on the side. I had a question, but I forgot it.
They're written down, bro.
Bro, I'm trying to find it. Hey guys, so what's your thoughts on, like, Alex?
Faker.
Yeah.
He fakes getting hurt all the time, so then he can be like, "Oh, doctor, I really need some opium."
Doctor, I fell down the stairs because my dog tripped me up. Can I have some cocaine, please? Codeine, please.
He owns a little pig now, though.
He doesn't own a little pig.
He does.
Does he?
I don't know.
So you've got a question here from BoothPie3944.
Who?
BoothPie3944.
Go on, say it one more.
BoothPie3944. Hey Jar lads, I've been listening since that episode Alex did by himself, and I gotta say, you guys always brighten up my Mondays. Thank you very much. That sounded really sarcastic. I've recently had to change my job. I'm going from a retail worker to a full-time auto mechanic. Do you guys have any advice on how to handle such a shift in career? Have you guys ever had a change in your line of work too? Love you guys and thanks for the fun times.
Love you too.
I think we, especially me, have had loads of experience in that line because I've bounced around a lot.
Yeah, I've bounced around a bit as well.
And you've had a career change recently as well, as we both have this year.
Yeah, it's like, at this point to me, it really doesn't faze me. It's a thing where, like, once you know that, because the thing that happens with jobs is, for the first, depending on the job, the first week or the first month or the first couple months or the first couple weeks will be like you learning the new stuff.
Yep.
And it can feel quite a lot at that time.
It's overwhelming because it's a big change.
But also quite exciting because it's like it feels like fresh every day. But then you are always going to get into that thing where it's like you've got it now. You figured it out. And then it's just routine.
I think one of the big things is especially with a career change, is knowing yourself, is knowing what you're capable of, and that. Yeah. Especially with career changes, you should never be intimidated to try a career change. I have, and it's worked out really well. And it's just because I was like, no, James, I've got this. I can do this. Yeah. And it's worked out really well. But you need to know that when you first get any change in career, they're not going to expect you 100%. They know, most employers are not going to know it might take a little bit for you to just fully adapt. Not everyone is going to have instant adapt and be 100%. Yeah. And it's just knowing that you need to be willing to learn and willing to have changes and improve. And as long as you're willing to do that and acknowledge that, you'll smash any career change that you need to.
Yeah. Yeah. Just don't walk in there acting like you know everything.
Yeah.
You know?
You gotta ground yourself and go in there to learn and be better. That's the best way to approach it, and it will work out. Trust me on that, fam. I'm like experienced on it, man. Okay, should we talk about Argy? Or is that not ours to tell? People are getting angry. They're actually doxing me. My address is here where I work. Bro, they're getting angry at me. Bro, what do you do?
Nah, fuck them.
Yeah, Argy's dead.
Yeah.
Argy! Yeah, where is he? He's dead.
You'd hear him barking if he was alive.
If he was here, he'd bark and he'd be doing his...
He's dead and Jesus killed him.
Yeah. Honestly, they never found that guy from Goodfellas' body. That's all I'm saying. and I'm talking about the character in but Goodfellas. He's based on the real character, the real person who disappeared because he kind of was a twat, and the mafia were like, "Nah, we're gonna whack you." We whacked Argy off.
Mummy makes me mash my M&Ms. Mummy makes me mash my M&Ms. Mummy make me mash my M&Ms. Mummy makes me mashed my M&Ms. Mummy makes me mash my M&Ms.